becoming my guru.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So okay. So yeah. So the story, for the purpose of the book, is my story is about how um, my body became my guru and illness my teacher, and the process of awakening because your body is not supporting you, and you are creating chronic symptoms, and the journey basically of understanding, one, that there is different ways of living your life, and two, that truth is very important, and realizing that actually if your body is expressing symptoms, it's because somewhere, somehow, without maybe not even being aware of that, you are out of integrity. So it's basically the journey to health being the journey back into connecting with all the part of yourself, connecting them back so you can be whole and in integrity in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been my journey, and every event in my life, actually, good or bad, have contributed to that journey of reclaiming who I am and understanding what we are doing on earth, and also creating a relationship with Mother Earth as really a nurturer and a benevolent energy on whom we rest, on whom we, yeah. So
Beautiful. So
yeah.
we might have missed the start of the recording, so I'm just going to let you know again that Ghislaine wrote chapter 6, Healing is a Love Affair, the Path, the Truth, and the Life. She's a kinesiology and breath worker, and she lives in Sydney, Australia. And as she was saying about, the journey to our own wholeness and how illness can be, it's actually a catalyst for a lot of people. It's like when we're kind of out of balance, the body is a really good reminder of, where we need to come back to balance, where we need to reassess, all the things that we do and how are we caring for ourselves. So I think you'll agree that when we work with others, people, when they get illness, it is like a point of, like a real crossroad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's illness, but it's accidents or losses. So whatever shakes you up from your, I want to say, normal life, something that you know takes you out of the most common path, and you have to ask yourself questions, or grieving. I found that in my process, and in many of my clients' process, that grieving, so grieving a loss of a person, loss of a job, a situation, a home, like it can be big and or small grief. Also, the loss of the life that you knew, because illness is you to be out there and doing the things that your peers are doing. So you've got to grieve that as well, what I call the normal life. And um, and that is often, the grief is often the point of entry
Mm-hmm.
to the spiritual journey. It's like, the heart is broken, and now how are we going to mend that heart
Yeah.
back into wholeness, and grab all the pieces that actually you've left along the way, and grab them back.
Like a rebuilding of our structure through the cracks that have happened. And,
Yeah,
society doesn't really have a model, a very, well, there's probably models out there, but not a healthy model to allow people to know their grief, because not one person's grief looks like another person's grief. And there's
that's
no
right.
timeline, there's no, set point for
Yeah,
anyone. So,
yeah,
Yeah, I really appreciate your story in here and talking about, the different things you've had to face and how you it was it was the journey within continuously, looking at where you needed to reclaim,
Mm.
re-nurture, acknowledge yourself. So yeah, it's just a beautiful chapter there, and I do have a few questions that we're going to kind of ask. Part of the wholehearted chat is like to imagine that we're, sitting in the same lounge room with our cup of tea and, feet up, you know, a little
It
blanket.
feels like it. I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I do have a few questions, and I wanted to ask you, what's the best compliment that you've received?
This is a difficult question. I tend and to just go somewhere else. Maybe I go on the moon or somewhere when people gives me a compliment. So I'm not sure what would be the best compliment. Um, yeah, yeah, and I mean, I've received many and many compliments from people, from my clients or from people around me, but I tend to not take them in too well. I mean, that's a work in progress still. Um, but yeah. Yeah, I think the best compliment I receive is when I know that I've 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 supported someone to open a path for them that they didn't know was possible or even existed.
Yeah.
So that's one compliment. On a personal, with my friends, I think I think with friends and with clients is that people feel safe. I think that's the one thing that would be in common is that people feel safe with me and they can relax. So yeah.
Creating that safety for everyone,
Mm.
and also realizing, I'm sure you agree that, we instill in the client, the people we work with, that they are the healer. Like, yes, we help guide and we can say we are healers, but we want them to realize they're the healer. So,
100%.
no matter, what's happening. And,
Yeah.
I kind of do want to say about compliments. Women need to receive compliments and like take them into their heart, and we kind of can go, yeah, yeah, thanks, and move on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
I
I
know.
know you're a beautiful healer. I know you've done a lot of work with the breathwork community in Australia.
Mm.
You've led, conference, etc. And so, being that light in the world, I want you to know that that's my compliment to you. Is you are a light in the world. We've known each other for 25 years, and
Yeah.
who knew where we were going 25 years ago, but
Oof.
we're just guiding, holding our light as high as we can. So thank you
Mm.
for doing that in the world,
Mm.
Ghislaine. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Lulu. I'm taking that in.
And that's what our soul sisters are for, to remind us, hey, take this one and, you know,
Yeah,
savor
yeah,
it for a bit.
yeah.
Um, what's one of your favorite hobbies or passions that you like to do?
I think spending time on my own, relaxing, being in the sun, um, just recharging in nature. I mean, not nothing really special, but just having that connection with myself and with nature um, is a hobby. My passion is people. I love people, and I love being with them. I love being with their quirkiness and their I love that about people. So I think a lot of my offering goes towards people, and then I need to balance that with a lot of quiet time for myself
Yeah,
in nature.
yeah,
I mean, going to the beach and being under the sun, when if it's not too hot, it's like wow.
Oh, gee, I miss the beach. You know, in Atlanta, we're
Yeah.
in the middle of the state, and it's like, where's my Australian beach?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Um, what makes your body, well, you kind of answered that, but maybe there's other things too. What makes your body feel vibrant and youthful?
Great conversations.
Mm,
I love exchanging with people. I love being challenged with great new subjects. I love hearing about um, different views on different things. I love art. So, going to see an art exhibition will totally transform my energy. So, they might go to. So, if one day I'm feeling a little low and I want to go out, I might ring a friend and we'll go and see an art exhibition.
mm,
I remember long ago seeking refuge in bookshop.
mm.
So, seeing a bookshop and says, oh, yes, let's go there and let's just be in that energy because I love books so much. So, things like that, they just recharge my energy. Yeah, so the writing art or paintings, sculpture, music. Music is essential.
Mhm.
So all the arts are they're essential for me. Yeah, very
And
important.
they touch us at many different levels of our senses, and they take us into kind of an otherworldly experience. You know, I like to think
Yeah.
pretty similar to breath work. You know, you go into this other dimension that is not the mundane, normal human dimension. And I believe too, you know, art and those sorts of expressions
Mm.
mean a similar sort of thing for us, which is wonderful. And my last question is, have you ever experienced a miracle or had an answer to your prayer or a prayer?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I experience a miracle each time I am able to shift my energy from fear or anxiety to love. So that's a miracle because my day changes. Whatever I was anxious about just happens miraculously. So they're the miracles when I can just relax and trust and let myself be guided and be um, supported by the universe, by the earth. So when I'm in that state, my days are miraculous, one after the other. Um, the answer of the prayers, yes, many times, but I don't realize straight away that my prayer has been answered
Mm-hmm.
because, and not so much now, with growing older, being 50 plus, you I did relax. I think most women will do relax, and as you relax you trust more. So um, the prayers have been answered. I've been able to see that in hindsight before, and now can just feel them every day that my prayers are being answered, because my prayers are not about something tangible and physical anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a different kind of prayer I used to do before. And so, yeah, so they are answered all the time.
I liked how you said that, you know, just move, well, not just, that word's not even necessary. When you move from fear to love, that
Yeah.
in itself is like this gift, this blessing, you know, and opens up a different possibility for what we do in our day or our life. But when
Mm.
we're stuck, of course, we don't see that way out. But when we can move from one place to another, and you know, fear and love are kind of a fair distance apart. So acknowledging in ourselves that, wow, that's how powerful I am. That's how I can be, you know, sovereign to myself and move.
Mm.
You know, it's just a beautiful thing. You know, I know in the chapter you talked a bit, well, you sort of mentioned about, you know, consciousness and vibration and being part of that movement to uplift humanity.
Mm.
Tell us, you know, a little bit more about that. You know, I know you have children, and, you know, we all know that we can start with ourselves, but, you know, where else we can help to support that rising of the consciousness.
Yeah, I think one thing I discovered in my on my healing journey is that the one element that was missing, because I had been healing myself for many, many years before I had another bout of, you know, something like big to another bout of big symptoms in my body, and I realized that the one element was gentleness with myself, that compassion. And I remember for so many times picking up, you know how you pick up cards, and the cards I would pick up would be compassion. And I would say compassion, compassion, you know, like I couldn't really get it. What is compassion? And then I realized compassion is passion for yourself. So, you know, it's a little bit like, okay, I'm going to be kind to myself. And I'm going to be kind to myself, especially when I'm not happy with myself, when I feel that I could have done something different or better, or, you know, this is when I've got to be gentle. And I think I think maybe this is what I would love children to receive, because our education system is quite harsh, because it's from the outside in. You have to always conform to something that might not correspond to who you are. So, and this is where you lose the little parts of yourself, because you've got to let go of something in order to comply with what is asking for you, from you. So I think bringing those back slowly with passion, with compassion, is essential. And we were lucky that our children went into a different school system, you know, the Rudolf Steiner education, where lots of gentleness and love and and storytelling and things to do with fingers, you know, like
Handwork and, yeah.
sewing, yes, and painting and drawing. And I think this is essential for children. They need to be surrounded by the arts. They need to know where we come from. They need to know about mythology. They need to know about a history, but a different history than the one that is being told at school. I've got a lot of love for children, and I always thought, you know, if I wasn't a therapist, if I wasn't a healer, I think I'll be a preschool teacher or something. I just love children so much, and I really ache when they are, you know, not taken care of properly. Those little souls that are open and so wanting to be loved. And each time that they are not loved, it's like a big bang for them. You know, like the energy goes like this, and they have to get back into some kind of equilibrium. I guess this is the journey of humankind, you know.
Yeah, it is. You know, those small babes that come to us are, you know, pristine, um, and they come into this harsh world, really. And we all try to make it as gentle as possible, but, you know, it does affect us on many levels. And, you know, I would say most of humanity has something they're carrying over from their childhood still is
Yeah.
part of in their body. So
And as a rebirther, I would say from the way they are born.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. The way we are born. I mean, we won't go into that, but the way we are born is actually quite shocking to our nervous system.
Yes. Yeah. Um,
Unless, you know, we do it the nice and gentle way at home, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I'm actually
Lotus births and all those.
I'm doing a collaborative book next year for mothers, and I'm actually going to write about my lotus birth. So,
Yes.
people don't know that they have these choices, and the more people speak about them, that's what's important, is speaking our truth and speaking the experience, and, that deep nurturing for humanity and for the individual.
Mm,
I know we're coming to our time now, and I did want you to offer our beautiful viewers something that they can connect with you, or how they can connect with you. And Ghislaine's going to give her information in the Facebook chat afterwards as well. But yeah, she's working with people all over the world, and you may have something to offer us tonight.
yeah. So I've got a community breathwork group. So for people in America, depending on where you are, the time might not coincide. I'm quite happy to do one for American time if I get enough people, um, that would be interested to explore breathwork in a safe way, even though they're at home, but being guided through the process of breathwork. Um, I'm really happy to give a 10 minutes short consultation to everyone that would have questions. So I'm really easily reachable. Just, you know, email me, text me, call me. Make sure it's Australian time, not during the night. And yeah, I'm really happy to to answer any question, to guide anyone that would want to. So I'll put the website's detail
Great.
where anyone can contact me, or yeah.
Yeah. So, just for the viewers, as you know, Ghislaine and I had children in the same schooling system, but we also did a lot of breath work together. This is one of the deep processes we did over 25 years ago that probably put us both on our own healing journey for ourselves, but also for what we do in the world today. So breathwork is I think, one of the most profound things to do, is to connect with, your breath. It's just, a great invitation into yourself. So I recommend all the viewers to connect with Ghislaine around that. Her
Yeah,
chapter is beautiful in the book, and, know that you can, purchase our book still on Amazon, and, Christmas and holiday times coming up. So you may want to gift a girlfriend, or, a family member. So please buy our book. Um, I am also having a second book next year, and so I'm connecting with women over 50 who would like to write in that book. So if you know anyone, I'll put my details in the chat as well, and they can reach out and have an interview with me. So we are moving forward with our wholeheartedness, and women 50 plus, we're here to stay and to do great stuff in the world. So I appreciate
absolutely.
you being here tonight, morning, wherever you are in the world, and it's lovely to connect with you, Ghislaine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lulu. Thank you so much for all you do
Thank
and have done for so many years. You're a trendsetter. You're and it's fabulous to be in your community.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.